And look who's next to Matt. It's none other than Apprentice star Katie Hopkins. Hi there, Apprentice star Katie Hopkins.
Hello,
how's it
Mr.
going?
Bacon. Really well, thank you. It's Friday.
Are you really going to go for it today?
I'm going to go for it.
With your borderline offensive comments.
I am. I'm going to go for the jugular.
That is great news. And my special guest this morning, it's comic Ben Miller. Good morning. Are you a fan of borderline offensive commentary?
I am, yeah, and particularly Katie's.
Yeah, me too.
He's a good man.
Hey, listen, Ben, it's great to have you here. Before I just conduct a little interview with you, are you familiar with Twitter?
I am. Well, this is the thing that all the big celebs are doing, isn't it? They give you a running commentary on every single thing that happens in their lives.
Yeah, big celebs and me. But I'm on there, Ben. Why don't you join and follow my life?
I would love to.
Yeah,
I'd love to. Can I do that? Can I sign up? Can I get regular updates?
You get regular updates. Let me show you.
What are you doing now?
I've actually just posted about 1 minute and a half before we went to air, and I said, turn Channel 5 on now, Ben Miller's on the show. And then I put boom, exclamation mark, as a way of telling people that was an exciting thing.
Is that a young person's thing?
Yeah, it is. Although, of course, they would have known.
Wicked sick.
Yeah, sweet. So that was on there, and here's one I posted. I do a radio show, which I did last night. So I posted this like 1 in the morning, OK? This is how exciting Twitter is. This is a picture of former G4 star Jonathan Ansell from my Twitter account. Yeah, in my radio studio. There he is. How about that? Huh? Can you believe that people voted for Steve Brookstein over him?
I can't.
You clearly don't remember Series 1 of The X Factor, Ben Miller.
Thank you.
So I hope I've sold it to you. What I would say...
I'm loving it. Is it just visual? I thought you got little messages of what you're doing.
You do pictures and little kind of Facebook kind of status updates.
Nice.
So today, as ever, go on there and pass comment on today's show, talk about Ben or any of those topics I mentioned a few minutes ago. Go to twitter.com and find Richard P. Bacon. Richard P. Bacon. And,
you mean somebody else already got your name on Twitter?
Yeah, exactly what happened. Sickening.
What's the other Richard Bacon doing right now?
Well,
can we find out what he's doing?
Yeah. There's a Richard Bacon who's the MP for South Norfolk, and sometimes I get his mail, and sometimes I respond. And pretend to be Richard Bacon, the MP.
Yeah. In a borderline offensive way, or...
I think in a borderline legal way. So listen, Ben, let's talk about you, not Richard Bacon, the MP for South Norfolk.
OK, all right then. Yeah.
If we must. You are one half of the hilarious comedy duo Armstrong and Miller.
That's very kind of you.
And I am, of which I'm a huge fan of both of you. No, I mean that. You know I mean that. Sometimes I sound sarcastic when I don't mean to. And you've just done... I mean, you did many series on Channel 4 in the late 90s.
We did.
And you've just filmed a second series for BBC One.
Yeah.
OK, how'd that go?
It was great. It was really fun. Although it's not going to be on for a while. It's now not going to be on until the autumn.
Right.
Because we're getting that prestigious... showing it at the end of the year. No, I think it's a good thing. I mean, we're being held back till the autumn. That's how they're selling it to us. Is
it a bit frustrating to kind of film a show and then have it not shown for months and months?
Well, it is. And you end up with this sort of... And particularly at the moment, the schedule's getting moved around a lot, and there's this huge holding pattern of shows out there. There's this huge world of... You know, all these shows stacked up waiting for somewhere to land. I mean, it's quite odd.
Yeah,
but schedulers have a really difficult job, because the second they say when they're going to schedule a programme, then another scheduler schedules against it. You know?
Right,
so it's a completely...
What I want to do is we're going to show... In a moment, we'll show a clip of Armstrong and Miller. Before that, let's show a clip of Moving Wallpaper, because chronologically, that's on first. Now, Moving Wallpaper, you play a kind of a megalomaniac of a TV producer called Jonathan Pope.
Jonathan Pope, yes. Yeah. It's on tonight, actually. The series begins tonight.
OK, shall we... Let's have a look and then chat more about Moving Wallpaper. Excellent. Here's a clip of tonight's episode. Ben, you're very good in that show.
Thank you. Thank you, Richard. It's very kind of you. I mean, in the last series, we used to be making a different thing. We used to be making Echo Beach, this soap opera. And this new one, we're making this zombie drama. And that's me trying to talk Kelly into being one of the stars of the zombie
I think that's a better premise, because I think it's fair to say, isn't it, that with the first series, people, and the critics in particular, liked your bits, the behind-the-scenes stuff. you know, the kind of the more Larry Sanders bits.
Yes, yeah.
But weren't actually that keen on the soap opera.
Well, I think the problem was that maybe it was a difficult time to show the soap opera, I think, was part of the thing. Whereas if the soap opera had been on a different channel in the afternoon, you might have been able to follow both or watch both if you wanted to. But when sort of Moving Wallpaper, I think, undermined Echo Beach slightly.
Because Moving Wallpaper was clever and funny. The problem was that you were deliberately... the setup was you were making a bit of a poor daytime soap, and then they did make a bit of a poor daytime-style soap.
I thought it was very good, Richard. Okay. I enjoyed it immensely.
But you aren't getting that. But your bit's tremendous, and a lot of the critics are loving you in Series 2.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's a slightly... You know, we're all very excited about it, and we don't quite know how it's going to work, because obviously last time we were with Echo Beach, and now... We're not. We're on our own. At the end of the series, they're going to show the pilot that we're making, though, the zombie drama thing. So there will be another show to watch connected with it. But...
And Jim Robinson from Neighbours is in that, along with Kelly Brook.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
And he's got a real name, hasn't he? He's not just Jim Robinson from Neighbours.
I don't know. I never found out. It was just so much easier to call him Jim Robinson from Neighbours.
He's Jim Robinson from Neighbours, who was also in Lost and also in 24. He once played
Betty.
Ugly Betty, and The West Wing. He played, I think, the Agriculture Secretary in The West Wing for a couple of episodes.
The Agriculture Secretary.
He's in, like, all my favourite American TV shows.
He was Vice President in 24.
Yeah,
he's doing quite well politically. I mean, you should really think about taking it up.
That's one of my favourite things about 24, is how many presidents they've had.
Yeah.
They've had more presidents in 8 years of 24 than America's had in more than 200 years of existence.
And they had the first black president, way before Barack
They had
Obama.
two black presidents, because Wayne Palmer, his brother, also became the president. And there's another president who's in a coma that they've sort of forgotten about, who's still alive.
So in many ways a better world.
Moving Wallpaper. But you're very pleased with it.
Yeah. I'm really pleased with it. Yeah, I think it's going to be. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what people think about it. But
it's great. And let's have a look at Armstrong and Miller as well. Let's have a clip and then we'll talk some more about that series. Here we go. Big laughs.
It's what it's about.
And so you got... are they returning for the second series, those characters?
I don't know. There will be. I think what we thought we'd do in the second series is try and bring in lots and lots of new characters. So we've got... one of my favourite new ones that we're doing is the guy, the old clubber that I play. A sort of 40-something guy who basically hasn't stopped raving since the 90s. Like quite a lot of my friends.
A bit like me, in fact. Matt, you had a question for Ben.
Yeah, I saw you there before working with Kelly. How was that? I noticed in the clip, actually, that... no disrespect to you, you did almost all of the talking, and yet the camera was almost always on Kelly. Is that what we can expect from Moving Wallpaper?
That's pretty much what happened all the time. People would just be looking at Kelly whenever anybody was having a conversation, even if they were talking to one another, they'd be looking at Kelly, during the actual filming. I mean, it's... the great thing about Kelly was she wasn't at all afraid to have a laugh and make herself look a bit ridiculous, and I think that's when you get points, really, as a celebrity, is when you're not prone to taking yourself too seriously. So, you know, there are quite a lot of jokes at her expense. And in fact, at one point, in about the fourth episode, it goes on.
Does she
the car
reciprocate?
horn, if you know what I mean.
Does she reciprocate? Come back, because that would be good.
No, but funnily enough, I do go downstairs with Alan Dale, so it's all fair in the end. Yeah.
Do you? Okay.
It's nice.
Katie,
you get it in the end.
Yeah. Katie Hopkins, you have a question as well for Ben Miller.
Well, of course, everyone would. Do you? Do you know
It's quite surreal meeting you. I was a huge fan of The Apprentice, I have to say.
Are you scared?
An enormous fan. Well, you're much nicer in real life than you appeared on the programme.
Do you remember when you called that woman a snake in the grass? Do you remember that episode? It was a snake, wasn't it?
I called someone a snake in the grass. It was fair. She was a snake in the grass.
I thought she was all right.
Somebody's already asked you, presumably on the programme, but, you know, with that final moment when you turned down the job with Sir Alan...
Yes.
Why was that? You didn't want to commute? What was the...
No.
What was that?
One of my little daughters needed a new hip being put in. Someone needed to go and look after her, so that's why I did it. Oh. But I couldn't say that on TV, because it's not very interesting, is it?
I thought
it
the X Factor all the time. There's things like that, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to pull off.
Vote for me.
Cord.
My leg fell off last week.
That's true.
Yeah. Anyway, do you know when you've been funny? Do you go, oh, I was really funny then? Do you know that? How does that go?
Well, yeah, I see what you mean. When you're filming,
Yeah.
you think, sometimes it feels good and sometimes it doesn't. That's how it appears.
To you.
Sometimes it feels right and sometimes you just think...
Was I funny or wasn't I?
Yeah, no, I never get, was I funny or wasn't I? But sometimes it feels right and sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think if you thought all the time, is this funny, you'd never be able to speak or do it. I mean, for you, Richard, you're very stream of consciousness, aren't you? All the time. You're always talking. And if you ever started thinking, am I being funny or not, you presumably wouldn't be able to do it.
Or, if I were to stop and think, is what I'm saying inane and pointless? I wouldn't be able to do this job because I clearly conclude that most of it is. But